Alrighty. It's time. It's time. It's time. Okay, should be good to go. Good morning. Okay. Unfortunately, at least scanner-wise, we just have very low. Ooh, but RUBI immediately kicking off here. Fair enough. Nice. Hope you have a green day as well. Thank you, sir. So RUBI looks like the only thing really hopping at top of hour. Our gap scanner is pretty low overall. You know what I should maybe do because I have multiple scanners, I should have a way to toggle. That way I can kind of show you guys. Because I can just say, oh, the gap scanner's not great, and you don't really see a visual for that. You only see my current watch list. So maybe because here's my gap scanner. But maybe what I should do is make a toggle button. So I can toggle between the scanners and watch lists. So if I have something I want to show you, I can actually just toggle to that. That might be more interactive than me just saying, oh, it's a very slow gap scanner this morning. No sound. Really? Okay. Really, 1, 2, 1, 2. You're messing with me, dude. Anyone else have sound issues? Yeah, anyone having sound issues besides Duvin? Because on my end, it looks fine. Right? Yeah. Yeah, when I talk, it's getting picked up. So I'm not sure. Yeah, Soul hears me. Yeah, I think it might just be Duvin. Yeah. Sound is good. Okay. Yeah, I think it might just be Duvin. Because on OBS, I can see if the sound's going through. I don't know if I can really show it. I can't really show it here, but yeah, it says the sound's going through fine for me. Okay, we have 4 yeses, 1 no, so I'm gonna assume we're good. I mean, the fact you answered me, yeah, okay. But yeah, Ruby popped up here, top of hour with volume. Actually, this entire move is... Yeah, this entire move is no news. Very suspicious. So this was maybe a 50-60% move on no news. Recent reverse split, it looks like. Yeah, recent reverse split a few days ago. Had a pop-up here. Probably a super low float, right? Yeah, less than 1 million. Okay. So this is probably just some sort of super low float play. Loud and clear. Yes, sir. Thank you for reassuring me that I'm not crazy and can read the audio correctly. Sometimes this mic does need reset. It's once a month or something. Let's see. INCR popped up, but it immediately rolled over. Also, it's a bit cheaper. It did have news, though. Yeah, because this one is a no news mover, right? This moved 60% on no news. How much is that relative to before? It's actually not even that big of a move relative to how much it's dropped. right? This move up to 360. It's like here. I mean, it's a decent recovery from the sell-off. Good morning. It seems like another slow day. Yesterday it was hot. Yes, it was pretty good yesterday. We had, I mean, you say hot. I want to make sure I'm being clear here. I think it was slow with one good move, right? So like LRHC was one that I shorted yesterday. And this actually gave back the entire move and then some. And even this was a pretty slow grind up. Yeah, I actually marked out my entries for reviewing them. But yeah, SNSE, very impressive move overall. I mean, even now it's kind of just holding here. So this was certainly an impressive move. But this was like an outlier, it felt like. Good morning, Sony. Good morning, good morning. If you guys are just tuning into the stream, if you could do me a favor and hit that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. But no pressure. No pressure at all. Yeah, so and I'm having trouble deciding this. I don't know if I'm the only one that's felt this way, but I'm trying to assess if the market is heating up because we have had some good movers the last few days. But it almost feels like we've had some really good movers in a sea of bad movers. So I'm trying to evaluate if that means the market is heating up or if the market is still cold and we've just had a couple exceptions. That's the real difficulty. And right now I'm leaning towards the market is still actually cold. We really need to see stocks moving a higher percentage and holding a higher percentage. Green and Ruby, good stuff, sir. Yeah, just staying patient on this one. We're at 0-day trades on the margin account for shorting, so we are in this account for 2 days. If we get more people in here like 2025, I will probably talk about alternative plans because given the direction I want to go with this strategy and this channel, I will need to make an adjustment. So I just want to talk about that a bit, but we'll wait for more people to come in. But hey, at least this is proof that the account is still here. I know there was one guy that's like, oh, you blew up your account, that's why you stopped using it. That's one of the nice things too about showing only the trades in the account is like, you'll know, like I can confidently say I didn't have a bad day or a bad trade off camera because I'm only trading on camera in this account. So that is a nice feature. Yeah, it's looking like a slower day, at least to start. Last night, TRNR was an initial gapper on OK Good News. Do you take a look at it? I can look at it, sure. Certainly, sir. I mean, there's nothing better to do right now. I mean, I guess we do have to keep an eye on Ruby. I'll keep it on the side chart. I don't know why I didn't do that, but I'm a bit hesitant to touch Ruby just because it's no news mover. It's purely a reversal play with the low float. Yeah, so what happened yesterday? Earnings or something? Let's see. Yesterday was the 18th. Signs definitive agreement to acquire. Okay, so it's an acquisition. Yeah, and I mean, we're seeing more of this pattern where moves are just making the actual move and after hours more. I keep seeing the signal, and I know someone, I think it was Bobby maybe, somebody in chat was mentioning, I think it was Bobby, that after hour movers are getting more moves than pre-market right now. And we're seeing that continue, like this is an after hours move, and what was the overall move? So like, this is a cheaper stock, right? 40 cents. So it is a cheaper stock, but 40 cents to 69. It's like, what? 70% mover. Like, that's still pretty good. Yesterday you became a pattern day. Well, no, I thought, Sky, I thought you said that they said you were good. I saw your comment. I thought you said that you were good. So you actually are labeled now, so you can't trade in it? But yeah, like, this is just one where you had acquisition news, popped up 70%, gave back the entire move within like 3 hours. The thing is this is a super cheap stock, right? The daily, this is just grinded straight down, like straight down. And pretty aggressive too, right? This was $4 back in September. And now it's all the way down to 40 cents. So this has lost 90% of its value in like 4 months. Well, okay, it's been more than that. Like maybe 6 months, it's lost 90% of its value. But yeah, with these cheaper stocks, these kind of moves can happen more where it's just very big percentage gainers. The fact that it gave back the entire move kind of just shows that this could have been noise. They said on the phone I was good, but the algorithm has shut me down at the bell. Well, if they said you're good, maybe call them back and just double check, because it doesn't... Like, my understanding, just based off of what I know about how day trades work, is you should technically be flagged. Like, given your order entries and exits, you should have been flagged for that extra day trade, from my understanding. So you should get that extra hit. If they change PDT rule, do you think we'll see a large increase in vol? Absolutely. Absolutely, Poe. The problem is that a lot of people don't have 25K, and this is the problem with my account, right? So here's what I have to do. Because I want to make that shorting strategy my primary strategy, shorting inherently requires margin. So you got two options in the US. Either you make a bunch of small $2,000 accounts and you just be very, very particular with your trades, or you fund a 25K account and trade in that one. The problem with the 25K account is, especially with someone, when you're trading by yourself, you're already very prone to making emotional capitulation mistakes on your own. So trading in a $25,000 account, which gives you leverage, that's just asking for bad things to happen. And on top of that, most people can't really afford to fund a 25K account. Like, I could do it, but that would be like a majority of my capital that I have to work with. And because I make my money from doing other forms of trading, I can't really meaningfully contribute 25K to an account for this, because I need that money to be in the market working for me to make the main money that I make. So I'm kind of at a crossroads here. I can't reasonably fund a 25K account, which is forcing me down this weird rabbit hole of making multiple $2,000 accounts. And I'm in the process of deciding which broker I want to use for a second account. As it turns out, Webull doesn't let you have more than one margin account. So I can't actually do two margin accounts. I'm thinking maybe Thinkorswim for the second one. But I'm still looking into it. But yeah, if margin accounts become only $2,000, there's no PDT. Like, I mean, I guess if PDT becomes 2,000, that will be a game changer. You'll see a massive increase in volume. The threshold for people to enter is going to drastically lower. So you're going to see a lot more, I don't want to say dumb money, but like a lot more inexperienced traders coming into the market. Ruby again, green on that pop. Good stuff, man. I'm not really messing with Ruby. I don't really trust it. If you're making money on these pops, good stuff. But like, to me, I just don't really trust it enough. I mean, this isn't where I would want to enter anyway for my strategy. But yeah, especially this, I'm not really looking for it. I will have to call and use my once in a lifetime forgiveness. Well, it's weird though. Yeah, you'll probably have to. It's weird though that they would tell you that you're good. Because like structurally, at least the way you described it to me, it sounds like you definitely took an extra day trade. But yeah, definitely call them. Like, I would say maybe they would give it to you without using the forgiveness thing because you called them and they said you were good. But I don't know. They might not be able to do anything about that. Yeah, let me know how it goes. I'm curious. Do you see we ended up getting 12 likes. I do appreciate it. I feel like even 50% people liking, that is a big deal. So thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. But yeah, I think we're just chilling. So I guess I'll talk about this since we're not really doing anything. For my second account, right? Like I'm focusing on Thinkorswim because that's a broker I know. I don't think I've actually shorted in Thinkorswim before. My main concern is, of course, you've had recently the big issue where a lot of stocks are getting restricted and just not being able to be traded. Like, I know that people are saying you can call them up or you can text customer support and then they can alleviate it. But I've also heard people saying that even after doing that step and then unrestricting stocks, some of them are still restricted. So that's making me hesitant to want to go down that whole rabbit hole. On the one hand, I already have a Thinkorswim account, so it wouldn't be that hard to just convert it to margin. Plus, I am familiar with the platform, so that also is going in my favor. Where I get the little ladder, the active trader thing. I love the ladder. But, so I'm thinking Thinkorswim. I'm thinking, what was it, like E-Trade or something? I'm mainly looking at commission-free brokers, especially because I'm starting with such low size. If I was starting with larger size, I could consider things like Trade Zero or Ocean One Security. The problem is a lot of those brokers have big platform fees, and because I'm practicing with small size, it is very cost inefficient for me to go with some of the more premium brokers. Even if they give better fee rates, and I actually don't think they do, by the way. I need to get more data, but my understanding right now is that it's like 50, what would it be like? Yeah, it's like $1. It's either 50 cents or $1 per 100 shares on a hard to borrow stock. Like if the stock is 150% borrow fee, it's only 50 cents to $1 for that trade. Round trip too. And that's much better pricing than some of these quote unquote better allocation inventory brokers. So I'm really trying to pivot towards brokers that are free, not only for practicing, but it seems like in terms of just fee structure in general, they're much better. Man, it is really a slow day, though. There's just nothing really moving. I have a question for you guys. I'll go ahead and put out a poll, just because I'm curious. I mean, I know today's a bad example because it is cold right now. It does appear to be cold right now, but the last few days we have had some bigger movers, so that's why I'm kind of asking your thoughts. Right, we had SNSE yesterday. What was that stock? The one that moved to like 60. So like we had that. Oh, we had MLEC too. MLEC. This was one that also moved recently. Right, you had this big move. And it actually made a second leg yesterday. So there are some stocks that are making big moves. And I'm really torn between, are these just exceptions to the rule, or is this a regiment change? Don't be scared. Thinkorswim is fine. Just call and have an agent walk you through the signing of the responsibility and consent form. Well, it's not that I'm not scared of talking with them, right? Like, what I mean is that I just don't know if it's going to be worth my time to go ahead, set up the broker, fund it, start practicing with the strategy for short selling. JZXN, I'll check it out. Yeah. RXT went 300. Yeah, RXT too. That was yesterday, right? Yeah. Yeah. Cheaper stock, but this one did make a big move. Right, so we are seeing some stocks make bigger moves. I don't trust JZXN at all. This stock has just been horribly consistent with just failing. Right, we did have a bit of action, interestingly, on the daily. It looks like this has been a more volatile stock the last few days. So after AZI dumped, this one suddenly started getting more active. All right, so this is when AZI dumped. And this stock kind of just started getting a lot of recognition once AZI failed. Way more than it was, like, historically. So very strange. Strange behavior. I'm not sure if it's connected. But yeah, it's probably, I'm thinking Thinkorswim. Again, just because that's the broker that I have years of experience with. So it makes sense to go with a broker that I'm very experienced with. Yeah, so that's mostly where I'm leaning. E-Trade is another one. But yeah. You don't have to call Thinkorswim, you can just message via support. Okay. Yeah, I've heard some people say that too. I would probably still call them. But yeah, I'm mostly, yeah, I probably should just go with Thinkorswim. Wonder how trying to think, how would I show the profit and loss? Because, like, you've got these windows you can detach for Webull, and a lot of these other brokers, like Lightspeed, let me detach the profit window. Webull lets me do it. I don't know if Thinkorswim actually has, like, a profit window that you can detach. Like, I always just viewed my profit in the account summary page, and that's where I would go for that. They might have a place for actual profits. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking, how would I show you guys how I'm doing? You know, because I want there to be a visible display at all times, if possible, showing my account. Ruby just exploded. Let's check it out. Oh, you're right. Wow. Ruby, boom. Good volume too. Waiting for government announcement of some sort of money percent or something. I believe at 9. Money percent rate. You mean like the interest rate? Money percent rate. I've never heard it called that before. Made my daily goal in that pop. That's awesome, John. Your daily goal from a single pop. Yeah, so it seems like most people don't think the market's heating up, but a lot of people are unsure. And I think I'm in the category of unsure. Today isn't a great example because it seems colder, but yeah, we'll see. So 50% move currently. It looks like we peaked at around a 65% move. I'm still very hesitant on this just because there's no news. This is purely a squeeze play, right? Super, super low shares outstanding. Float's probably even lower. Very recent reverse split. This does have some, like, right, even though there's no news behind it, this does have the potential to move just if it gets the volume. And right now we are seeing entire float rotation in 1 minute. So we'll see what that converts to. I'm curious, what does the shelf registration look like for this? Because that could be something that's impacting this if there's no shelf. There is. And it's very recent too. Yeah, they announced a prospectus about 9 days ago for 15 million shares. Granted, that was, okay, so that's pre-split though, right? Yeah, that was announced pre-split, because that was announced here. Okay. All right, so post-split, all right, divide by 7. It's not a clean number. Still, that's like 1 million or something shares. I mean, I suppose it's possible after the split, this dump here could have been the dilution. Right, if we assume that the actual dilution was this. But I mean, looking at the volume, this is super low volume. It doesn't really, I mean, what was this one? Even this was 70,000, right? There actually wasn't a whole lot of actual volume that went into this dump. It doesn't look like the dilution occurred here. So even though this has a prospectus, is there like a price at that it has to be at? Right, because I'm just looking at it here, right? Up to 15 million common shares. It doesn't look like it's set a price. Let me look. Interesting. So I'm looking at the level 2 for Ruby, and it looks very thick. Much thicker than what should be a 500,000 share stock. That doesn't really track with me. Yeah, the level 2 shouldn't be this thick. I'm actually a little bearish because of that. I know this has made a very impressive move, but the level 2 being thick tells me that somehow, somewhere, dilution has occurred. And it's strange that we're getting the actual volume here now, and we didn't get it on the actual reverse split where it dumped. I'll have to do 10 days just to see it from here. Yeah, it just kind of, the reverse split happened here. Yeah, there was nowhere really for them to dilute though. They are toying with it. Algo's on it. Yeah, like, I'm wondering if there's an algo thing going on, because it's super thickly traded. This isn't 500,000 shares. Like, this is way too thick. There's like 10,000 orders on the bid and the ask in some instances. There's a 50,000 share seller at 255 or 355. Very big seller. If you're seeing like 25K sell orders, and like I saw like some 10,000 share buy orders too, there's no way this is only 500,000 shares float or shares outstanding. There's no way. Somewhere the dilution. So the prospectus was announced on the 10th, which was back here. What day would that have been? That would have been last Tuesday. So here, this is when the prospectus was announced. Looking at the volume, when on earth did they dilute? Algo loves these thickly traded crab stocks. Yeah. When on earth did they dilute, though? They announced the prospectus here, and there just hasn't been enough volume to get out. Right, there was one spike here. Where was it? Yeah, 16,000 here. There's nowhere they could have diluted. Why is this so thickly traded if the volume is showing up as like non-existent? I mean, we could assume some of this could be, so like, what's this one? There's a 27,000 block here, but that's, yeah, I don't know where they got out. That's weird. Where could the dilution have even occurred here? I mean, I see the price drop, but there was no volume behind it. I don't understand this. Somehow they diluted, because, like I said, the level 2's thick. They must have diluted at some point. There's no way that the level 2 can be this thick with this kind of 500,000 shares outstanding. There's no way. Like I said, there was a, what did I say, a 50,000 share seller at 355. We ended up breaking through that. But no, a 50,000 share seller on a 500,000 share outstanding stock. That's 10% of the entire inventory. There's no way. Maybe. Well, no, the thing is, even if there's market makers on this, that's way too much buying. That's way too much pressure on the level 2 for 500,000 shares of the company. That's way too high pressure. For a legitimate stock that only has 500,000 shares outstanding, we'll assume 250,000 float. This stock should have like 1,000 at most on bid and ask. Maybe like 2,000. The fact that we're seeing in some instances 25 to 50,000 on each side, there's no way. There's just no, it's way too much pressure. ELAB popping. Yeah, with news. That's on your no trade list. Yeah, this one has a history of just kind of dying. Yeah. They're using today price action to dump into. Once they can get high enough retails into it, they can dump. It's possible. It is possible. That's a possibility. Yeah, Bobby, I agree. I don't really like this stock. It's historically dumped. Is this the one that had that huge rug? Yeah, this is the one that had that huge rug. I bought in like here and got some of this dump. And then like, it seemed like a terrible mistake selling. Then just watching it dump even more. Yeah. Yeah, this one got diluted hard a couple weeks ago. Ruby Pop. Yeah, I'm genuinely lost on Ruby. I don't understand the level 2 on Ruby. Logically it shouldn't happen like this. Like I said, as a general rule, I don't like to engage with things that don't track with me, don't fly. So I'm probably not going to mess with this one too much. I mean, if it does some crazy overreaction, maybe I'll do something, but yeah. And ELAB, like you said, this one trapped me pretty hard. Took like a max loss on this one a couple weeks ago, so I'm hesitant to really trust ELAB. On the bright side, it's already dumped once recently, so the odds it dumps again in such a short time isn't super high, but it's not zero either. And this one, look at how bad this thing is sold off. Ruby's move feels forced. I find it tough to trade those if I can see no real liquidity coming in, and it's only one player rebidding it. Oh, the question is, what is real liquidity? Because, like, there's definitely volume coming through on this, right? Float rotation, at least according to the shares outstanding on Thinkorswim, we're seeing full float rotation in some of these instances. And that's the thing, too. Even if this stock was diluted and, like, post-split, we're looking at, like, maybe a couple million shares of dilution. So we'll assume that the dilution did happen. This is a 2.5 million share outstanding stock. That still can certainly move. That's still small, even after the dilution. Right, so if you get this kind of volume on even a 2.5 million share stock, it could still move. And I don't want to say that this is fake volume because of that. But it will be very telling to see how this stock plays out from here. Yeah, I genuinely don't know how they got out. I don't understand. It does feel sketchy. I wonder where Ross bought. Given how much this has moved, I'm guessing he probably was willing to take a shot at it. Real liquidity is usually if a stock has a lot less volume from different participants. When it breaks out and then just stalls like this, many tickers recently do that. It's hard to read any flow on it. Yeah, like LRHC, for example, right? Wow, this thing really died. But when this was grinding up here, like, you were having this weird volume pressure just climbing on it, and it really felt like one person was doing this. That was kind of my read on it. It didn't really feel organic at all. So very interesting to see this, like, very strange piling pressure, and then the entire move gave back, and it actually sold off a good bit, right? Because the pre-breakout price was 156, and for it to go down to 120, you could almost argue maybe someone pushed this up and then sold up sold it completely down. And there was actually someone with a position trying to exit, so they were propping it up and then dumping it. I suppose that's a possibility. And it's very weird, like you said, like this pattern where it's very grindy and the spread is very thick, the volume's very high. It doesn't seem natural at all. So like if we look at Ruby, this same kind of pattern is occurring where you're having super high volume on a stock that should be a low float, and it's grinding. The thing is if like, we got two issues. First of all, the level 2 is very thick. It shouldn't be thick. Second of all, with this kind of volume, getting this kind of grind shouldn't happen with a low float. Both of these signal this is not a low float stock. Somehow they've gotten the dilution through, even though the volume isn't there. Well, I know there's a thing where like they don't have to report the volume in some instances, so maybe that occurred. I'm not entirely sure how that works or the inner workings of that. But all we know is that this definitely was diluted at some point. I don't see it on the chart. I don't see it on the volume for the daily chart or the intraday charts, but somehow they did it. And right now we're seeing this pattern of this grind up on high volume. So it'll be very interesting to see in 1 to 2 days, where is this stock sitting at? If it gave back this entire move and then actually went down, that could signal that somebody was trying to use this entire move to pressure people to go long and trap bag holders. That could be a very interesting theory. If the float is locked up by one player, participants can slow down or speed up price. This might be a very low float. I mean, to me, the shares outstanding is probably somewhere between 500,000 and 2.5 million. Wherever it sits on that spectrum, that's still a low float, right? I think we could agree on that. If the level 2 is this thickly traded, even for a 2.5 million share float, this is still quite thick. Which tells me that somebody who has a large position in this is probably moving this stock. That would be just my natural thought process. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I definitely think I'm going to make a note of this, actually, because I want to look into this stock in like a day or two. I want to see where this stock moved to. What is the date today? Today's the 19th. And we're going to call the breakout where this started, we'll call it 238. So the question is, within 2 or 3 days, where is the stock price relevant to 238? Yeah, very strange. I always find it weird when this kind of activity happens and I can't explain it. Like it really messes with me, because I'm not really someone who likes to buy into manipulation. So when I don't see any other possibility, it kind of bugs me, you know? I just realized I already took a trade this morning, small green, but I totally forgot about it since the action is so dead. Yeah. What a great day to go back to the cash account, am I right? What was that about ELAB being a no trade stock for you, Bobby? What was that about that? Well, this would have been potentially a stock in play for me to short. I'm curious, what did this move? So 28 to 165. Yeah, this might have been a valid short for me. Okay, I should note that. Hmm. But yeah, later today, I'll go ahead and call up Thinkorswim and see about trying to set up another margin account. Because if I could get 2 accounts, like with my shorting strategy, it's not a very frequent one. It's maybe like a, I don't know, like 1 trade a day strategy. So because of that, I could probably manage with having 6 day trades every 5 days. Like I could actually probably manage with that. 3 day trades isn't in 5 days is not enough, but 6 and 5 I could probably do. Yeah, I just need 1 more broker to work with. It just keeps pop up and not holding. Easy short for you in the future. Yeah, I don't have my calculator up right now because I'm in the cash account, but I have a calculator and I'm pretty sure, just eyeballing it, this would have been a valid short setup for me. Like it passes most of my criteria. So this would have been a short probably around this area, or at least a starter position, which looks like it would have worked, but we'll see. The volume is still quite high. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. Ruby could be pulling back now. Reminder, I saw that very big order block at 355. It did break through it, and now we're back below it. So I still think 355 is going to be a critical area. Notably, it acted as support here for a moment. Honestly, even if ELAB goes all the way back, I don't actually know if I want to try and catch the knife on this one. My hands are still covered in blood from the last time I tried to catch the knife on this stock. Easy short for me, yeah. Yep. Yeah, probably. It's very crazy, too, the number of no trade days I've had in this month. I've had, like, what, 7 no trade days or something? That's a super high frequency, even for me. Usually, I at least trade something. Watch Ruby pop up in a random spot again, 50 cents. Could. We got like a head and shoulders forming, but yeah, I just don't really trust this stock. TRNR. Yeah, I just don't really care about TRNR. It's too cheap for me. I mean, I guess if someone's interested in it, it does look like it could be popping. To me, I'm not really interested in it, though. It's way too cheap. Man, we're already coming up on the top of the hour here. It just feels like nothing's moving at all. Watching paint dry. And the one stock that has made a move just did this very weird grinding action. Still even here, kind of grinding action. This proves that community trading helps. Normally, I will be trading Ruben again and again. Well, it depends on the community, right? I'm someone who doesn't like, if you couldn't tell, I don't really like to just rapid trade stuff. Back when I first learned to day trade, I would take like 30 day trades a day. So I traded a lot back when I was new. But the more I've learned, the more I've wanted to only really take high quality setups and not really just trade multiple times. In a hot market, you can kind of do that, and realistically, you should step on the gas in a hot market. But yeah, especially lately, the market's just been so cold, and that's really just amplified me wanting to take my foot off the gas. But it depends on the community you're in, right? If you're watching someone like me, maybe you'd be more inclined. Like, I think I'm a good example from the extent of, if you see me take a bunch of trades, you feel obligated to take a bunch of trades. But if you see me not trading at all, then you might even be influenced to not take trades much. Good morning, Ofter. I don't know if that's good or bad. I think it's good in a cold market, but if I'm not taking many trades in a hot market, that might not be, I don't want to say good influence, but I might not be setting a good example for you guys if it's a hot market and I'm not trading much. Right? Because if I'm not, like, if I'm missing out on opportunity and I'm influencing you guys to miss out on opportunities, that might not be productive for you. But it depends. Like, certainly in a cold market, I feel like because you guys see I'm not taking a trade, I think that takes a lot of pressure off of you. Right? Because you're like, okay, I'm doing better than this guy, or okay, he's not really trading either, so I don't feel bad about not taking trades. So there's kind of like that psychological aspect, right? Like, I see some people like Duvin, he said he traded this on the front side, and I certainly feel some FOMO that I missed out on it because of that. And that's nothing against Duvin, right? You trade what works. If you make money, then by all means. But there is that pressure. When you see other people trading a lot and you're not trading a lot, you feel like you're missing out. It's certainly a very interesting psychological aspect. I will do a poll here because we're coming up on the top of the hour. I want to see how people are doing. Hello, hello. Morning, everybody. Good morning. Jibishan. B2. You traded it long at 548. Didn't have a great resolution, though, so small winner. Where, you mean like here? Or I guess over. Okay, if you're actually talking my time, yeah. So you tried trading this and didn't have a good follow through. Yeah, here it looked more natural, right? The volume was climbing and the volume was still relatively low here. And this is like more logical price action. But to see it fully give it back sideways and then do the second leg on higher volume but slower grind, it just seems so weird. How did wash sales affect you when trading a lot? Well, when I was first trading with a lot of shares, I wasn't even profitable to begin with. So realistically, I would say it didn't impact me at all. I'd be curious to see how wash sales affect me now, because I actually do produce profits. But like, yeah, I would be curious to see how it affect me now if I did still do it. I did trade Ruby once normally. If I'm not in a community, I will keep going till I went red. Wonder why that would be. Yeah, so most people no trade. I'm actually surprised that half of you, well, maybe not. I mean, this stock did look interesting, at least initially. It was interesting here. The problem is this was back at like 5 a.m. Oh, really, like, wow, like 3 a.m. Or no, it started popping right here, 5:30. So 5:30. But it's still pretty early in the morning. Most people were probably not even awake or looking at the stock at this time. Yeah, Larry, how new are you to trading, if you don't mind me asking? Just because keeping on trading until you go red, like, it can be good. If you're someone that trades on the front side, like Ross does this a lot too, right? He'll trade on the front side until he gives back certain amounts, then he'll stop. Like, I think there is legitimacy to that way of thinking. So you're saying trading until you go red. If by till you go red you mean till you have a red trade, then I think that's fine. If you mean until you go red total P&L on it, that's probably not fine. Not financial advice, but that's just my thoughts. Yeah, not a lot of red people today, though, right? Only about 10% of people are red on the day. That's good. Most people being green. Yeah, we got 3 minutes till the top of the hour. Hopefully we get something better to look at. I'm not holding my breath, though. I mean, I will FOMO into this and just keep going. I've been trading for 5 years. I mean, I still certainly experience FOMO as well. Like, and I've been trading for a while. Like, day trading, I've been trading for like 3 years. So, even after 3 years, I still experience FOMO. Not nearly as much, but I can relate. What a mess I had yesterday, SMH. Gotta cut losers. Being very, very careful today. Please give us a runner, market gods. Yeah. Please. Please. Please, Sir J-Pal. Just give me that runner. That flushes and gives me an opportunity for a dead cat bounce. So I'll end the poll there. I'm curious to see how this poll will change, if it changes at all, within the next hour. Fear is a real thing in this market. Yeah. I have 2 weeks of green. What do you mean by that, sir? What do you mean by green? Being a long in small caps is like being a fisherman. You have to be really patient when things are slow. Yeah. Yep. No, and I don't, like, it had to change my thinking too, because when I was like streaming for you guys, a lot of me wanted to not put on a show, but I wanted to provide value, provide something to look at. So when the market got cold, and believe me, I hate not taking a trade. I do. I want to show that I can do things. But if the market is slow, like, I'm just going to take more losses, or at least the odds that I take a loss are higher. So it's not worth engaging. And that sucks because, like, really, you only grow your channel if you give flashy results. So by me not taking trades, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but my growth has slowed down this last week or two. I haven't really been converting as much in terms of subs. And I also even stopped doing the recaps on top of that, just because there's no point. ENVB moving. This one's another one that's pretty big downtrend. Okay, there is news. Bioscience reports some kind of receptor engagement assay data. Very nice pop on it too. Low float, definitely worth keeping an eye on. No red day during the last 2 weeks. That's pretty crazy, yeah. Not a single red day these last 2 weeks is very, very strong. Built different, Duven. Built very different. It's almost 1 million shares of inflow there. Stock has been beaten very beaten up. It has gone sideways the last week though, so there has been some accumulation. This news doesn't jump out at me as crazy. Candyman won more in a hot market than or a cold market than a hot market. Well, what do you mean by won? Because, like, if he's losing money, then, like, I guess technically in a cold market he just doesn't engage as much, so he would lose less. Or are you saying he's actually been green? I haven't, like, followed his profits very closely, so I don't know his exact returns or what they look like. Ruby is rolling over. Potential shifts. Right, people could be shifting to ENVB. It was hard to get in, but you're short at 345. Good luck, sir. Yeah, this is a stock that has historically sold off pretty hard. It does have these bigger pops, though, right? 684 to 13. So this has the potential to go 100%. DRMA also popping on the scanner. Not a lot of volume, and we had this weird grind up. This actually looks more like a pump and dump. Some big volume on that push down. Yeah, at least for me, this news doesn't jump out as like 100% runner worthy. Right. And I mean, even now, like this thing went up basically 100% on that. Let's go. 120 bucks on ENVB. Just 500 shares, baby. Patience pays. Yeah, this one definitely moved a lot quicker. Yeah, pretty big volume on this backside. I can't reasonably buy here for a knife play. Pretty nasty rejection too. $4 down to $2.90 in 5 minutes. We had a stock do this every day, man. I would would be so much better off. I have 6 no trade days this week. Yeah. Let's see how this does. All right, let's see if we get a bounce there now. Pretty big flush on that. Okay. Out half. Okay, I'm gonna cut the rest there. Took too long to resolve. I really wanted to see it immediately recapture that. This thing is in a very strong downtrend, so holding for longer is pretty risky. I could have held maybe, because I sold half. Maybe I could have held the other half a little longer. No, but getting out looks like the right play, because I got it at like 70. Yes, this one was just one to get a quick in and out. All right, we're on the board. 14 cans. Yeah, I was jamming in orders all the way from 420 to 345. NVB was not easy to catch. Oh, you were like way up here trying to get in. And you only ended up getting 345. Wow. Dude, flip-flop, you've made so much money so quick on this. Like, in 5 minutes, you've made like 60 cents a share or something. Crazy. Okay, I mean, it looks like it was the right call in hindsight. I sold half on this initial pop. I gave it like an extra 15, 20 seconds. It was showing resistance here, and I cut it. It looks like it was the correct call in hindsight. 4K candy soup. Easy money on ENVB. Nice. Back to sitting now. Yep. I got what I was looking for. It's very cool how we've all traded this a different way. Me, Duvin, and Flip-Flop, we all took a different approach to this trade, but we were all able to make it work, which I think is cool. Like, there's a bunch of different ways you can approach something like this. 85 cents. Jesus Christ, dude. Looking like a full-on rejection now. And it's crazy, too, to see 1 million shares of volume inflow into this thing. And then for it just to give back the entire thing in just 10 minutes. Jeez. Realistically, if I were to time the next knife, looking at daily, I mean, there is some at 215, 220. Yeah, maybe somewhere between 210 and 205 if we have a quick move. Could try it again. Like, it could certainly curl here, but I mean, I'm more bearish on it than not. Even though it just made this big leg down, it's just, the stock historically is sold off. It's given back the whole move, so odds are it's probably going down more. Don't go back. Well, no. I'm willing to re-engage if it gives me the signals I'm looking for, right? The key is just that it needs to be giving those signals. And realistically here, there's way too little signal for a bounce. Like, it could, like, to me, it's 50-50. I'd actually argue maybe it's 60-40 for going down. I think it's slightly more likely to go down than up. Realistically, this needs to make another leg down before a bounce is even realistic. And I'm talking like 210, 205, even for like a conservative estimate. For a more safe entry, I'd probably look for like 195 for an entry. And we're so far away from that. So like, this is probably done, but like there's a small, there is a maybe 10% chance we get down to 190. And like in a very quick move. So, gotta keep an eye on it because there is that chance. Amalek, day 2 mover, up $3 from overnight. I know it moved the other day, but I didn't know if it was moving right now. Yeah, this has been a very impressive move, and like you can kind of see it's curling. So Yeah, this thing could end up doing something crazy. Yeah, I'll go ahead and log this since it doesn't look like I'm getting in it anytime soon going forward here. Yeah, so I ended up holding that trade about 25 seconds. Yeah. Yeah, I tried to give it a chance. It just wasn't curling, so I had to cut it. Yep. Good support on the daily. Let's see. Probably a B plus, or it's a B or a B plus. I'm gonna give it B plus. It had good support on the daily, had low volume on the pullback. Yeah, that met my criteria. Yeah. The only thing that sucks is this is a stock that kind of moves down aggressively, so that was a detracting factor. Volatility was quite high. Asking the real questions, though, Cap. How did you manage to trade when you needed to go to the bathroom? Or what? How do I manage to trade when I need to go to the bathroom? Well, I go to the bathroom before I start trading. Just scalped TRNR. Small $124 winner. That's small to you, huh? Yeah, this thing's still moving. And actually, like, even recently here, we've gotten a bigger surge of volume. Like, this volume's much higher than all of this. I missed the fill on ENVB, Sag. Would have been a small winner. Yeah, so this ended up kind of holding here a bit, right? 244 in hindsight, you could have gotten like 20 cents off of it. This felt way too risky. Like I said, I thought there was a 60% chance it was going down. And it could even still go down from here. This is a very small corrective bounce. Would have been a small winner by like 1 penny. Yeah, the way I have it set up is like I'll wake up in the morning. So like, I haven't gone to the bathroom yet. So I just wait until right before I start trading to go to the bathroom. That way I don't have to go. Maybe TMI, but like that's a good way to just not have to worry about going. Ruby doing interesting stuff. I mean, it's holding up well for now. Like I said, the key question for me is where is this stock sitting in like 2 days from now? Like I said, I made a note for it. I'm going to look back on this stock over the next day or two and see how it performs. Mm. Like, this is so sad to see this just die, and now there's nothing to even really hope for here. Like I said, the only realistic entries would be like way down at like 205 or 195, and the more it consolidates here, the less likely that's going to happen. This thing could be curling. I'm like starting to move more, low volume. I can keep a side chart up for it. Do want to mention too, DRMA, no volume, but this thing has, or is it, what was it? DR. This is not, yeah, okay. Yeah, so this one ended up popping up, and it has held. No news. Probably not worth keeping an eye on. Yeah, okay, maybe not. Yeah. I noticed how it popped up on volume, and I see it's holding here, so that's why I thought maybe this was worth keeping an eye on. But if this has lighter volume and it doesn't have news, it's actually probably not worth keeping an eye on. Never mind. Never mind. Yeah, very weird how this has just kind of crept up on this incremental volume. I guess it is higher volume than this, right? You have some volume versus basically no volume. Hmm. NVB looking like it's creeping down. Still got a lot of work though to do before I'm interested. I gotta find some way to get my money back. Oh, it's so slow, dude. It's so slow. We got 6 minutes till the half hour. See if we get anything new. Sucks that ENV. What did ENVB max out at? So we went from 240 up to 450. It's like an 80% move. It's a pretty big move. Didn't hold it all, though. DRMA. Getting more volume here. It's breaking out at highs. I don't really trust this because the no news plus low volume looks like a trap, right? You did have this grind up on essentially no volume. Looks like a rug pull potential. But I will at least watch it because it looks like it might be doing something. Very bad daily chart. This thing has just been bleeding. Here comes the rug. Yeah. Ooh. Whoa. Okay. Yeah. Here comes the rug. Was that 165 down to 145? Pretty nice bounce opportunity there. You could have got 10 cents off of that. Would have been way too risky to buy this, though. This looks like the trademark rug pull that I try to avoid. This just screams scummy, manipulative play. Nothing burger. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's there's no news on it. It's grinded up on no volume. You're getting high volume at the top. Looks like a classic pump and dump setup to me. Like, this is way too dangerous to try and buy. Realistically, a knife, and I'm not even joking, would need like a 120 drop. Like, it would need a very, very seriously big drop. Nice drop on low volume, but not nearly enough. CDIO popped up for me. Looks like it's getting some volume. Yeah, similar story, honestly. This thing creeped up on much lower volume, and now up here at the top is getting higher volume. At least this has some volume coming in behind it. Is this the Ross pump? It looks like the trademark classic pullback. Stock Monitor is an interesting tool for Webull, only available for mobile though. Here's a tablet beside my desktop app. Yeah, it's so frustrating that they have like these exclusive mobile things. Like, it's just, I want to trade on desktop because that's like the more efficient way to day trade. IPST getting something here. 8:30 news. Strategy announces share repurchase program. That's pretty strong news. Yeah, considering how horribly this stock has been beaten up since what looks like a reverse split. Yeah, this is good news. Good news catalyst. Shelf registration last was back in December. Repurchase of up to 1 million shares. Don't give a price. It's tempting to want to buy it here just because this news is so strong. But it is a cheaper stock too. Like, this would be one of the few cases I actually trade front side, and I would look for the actual next leg higher. The only problem is that this is such a cheap stock. Like, if this was a $2 stock, I would have probably been buying here. But I just don't trust these kind of stocks. Jeez, dude. This is why you don't buy the penny stocks. My God. Rough. Very rough. You would have considered shorting around 160, 170. No, this would have been, like, if this was a better performing stock, like it wasn't so underwater, the price was a bit higher, I would have considered actually buying here for that next leg higher, because this is a strong catalyst. There's the dump on DRMA. I mean, it's been kind of just grinding. Like, this is, to me, this isn't even the dump. Like, this hasn't even gone back to previous day close yet. And realistically, I would want it to go down to like 120. Yeah, it's just an unfortunate situation where good news catalyst, but this stock is so underwater. It's like, it almost feels like you're playing with fire trying to catch something like this. This is a good volume breakdown though. Tempting. It is tempting. Thought about buying there 84 cents. Like, I was gonna do half size just to test it. But I should really not mess with it. It's a cheap stock. I do bad with these stocks. I should really not mess with it. Good morning, Green. Good morning, sir. Guess what, guys? Share repurchase program. Let's dump the stock. They announced a share repurchase. Time to dump it. What the hell, Ruby? What happened with Ruby? Well, someone called it out, right? Someone said there'd be a random pop. There's the random pop. 1 million shares. Full float rotation in 1 minute. Ruby continues to confuse me. Like, I genuinely don't understand the situation with Ruby. You told me it was coming. Random pop on Ruby. Yeah. Yep. You did call it out, Bobby. Credit where credit is due. You can't trade that nonsense. Yeah. It's so strange though. Like, it grinds on such high volume. Very limited long side edge out there at the moment, at least in small caps. Well, I mean, for my strategy at least, right? I've been trying to trade my strategy, and it's not been going well this month. Considering how little momentum there's been, I don't know. Like, I think if you're someone who trades front side, like, there can be some opportunities with these. I don't want to just roll out and say that there's no opportunity. It's the leading percent stock gainer again. Yep, it's at the top of the list. It's so sad. Look at this gap scanner, right? Like, the next best mover is a 21% mover. for me. It's not even close. Wasn't super random, but I'm scalping it. First candle to break 350. Yeah, I don't have a good read on Ruby. Don't forget to like the stream and join the Discord if you want new friends. Exactly. If you're liking the stream, like it. If you're new to the channel and you like what you see, maybe subscribe. I do stream every day, allegedly. And also, I have a Discord, so if you want to check out the Discord, feel free to do that. Link is in the description. Now someone will tell me I need to update it again, because it's probably been like a week. I probably should just do that. I'm pretty sure it's not up to date, actually. I should just update it. Yeah, let me go ahead and do that real quick. Because that link does need updated. I'll throw it out in chat too, since I'm already like here. Okay. Throw it out in the chat here. I'll go ahead and update it in the description. All right. We're just kind of chilling here. Yeah, I don't really trust this stock. I haven't trusted this at all ever since I noticed the discrepancy with the share rotation. So I'm mostly just a watcher. Also, my apologies if you hear any noise. There's some construction going on next door, so they are making noise. Do one more poll here as like a follow-up. This will be our last check, and we can compare this to the check we did about an hour ago. Pops up randomly and back to going sideways again. I don't know, like it's... I just don't have a read on this stock. I can't really interpret it well, so I'm not really gonna mess with it. By the way, this entire freaking move on no news. No news, suspiciously high volume, suspiciously high level 2. None of this makes sense to me. So, yeah. Realistically, the only thing I can say is I just need to see where this ends up in a couple days. That will be the most telling information. You know, it's still making new highs, certainly. You're still in ENVB. Did it continue? Where is it now? Okay, so it ended up kind of flattening here. Yeah, flip-flop, just so you know, according to my strategy, I would be out of the trade here. When it goes sideways this long, typically the edge has evaporated at that point for a short. So I would be out of this trade if I was short this. Yeah, I probably also would have tried to short around this area as a starter. Yeah, no, this is just, it's doing a very impressive job, right? You got to give credit where it's due. It's getting super high float rotation right now, and it's just grinding. Okay, so we have less no traders now, because we had around 55% no trade before. It seems like our distribution is still majority green, but reds have increased a little bit as well. For me, it's not challenging my entry, so I just sit in profit and wait, no pain. No, I get that. I just didn't see any edge from holding it longer from that period. Right? If you get a full 100% retracement from the initial move, typically it tends to go sideways. Like, there is a small chance it could curl back up. There's also a small chance it breaks down and makes new lows. To me, I didn't see any advantage to holding beyond at that point. So I don't. And that's just from my back testing, though. Like, if that's just the vibe check you got, or if you have some reason to think holding longer does better, fair enough, right? MACD positive for at least 10 minutes? I mean, yeah, just looking at this, I can definitely see that. Right? This is definitely clearly an uptrend. But it's so weird because you're getting these grinds followed by just massive spikes, then another grind for 7 minutes, and then a massive spike. Right? This doesn't feel organic to me at all. This feels like someone grinding and running it, and then just having a huge inflow randomly. Like, even here, right? You're having big spike, grind for like 20 minutes, big spike, grind, like somewhat big spike, grind down, grind sideways, big spike, grind up, big spike. Like, there's these weird grind spike combos. This doesn't feel organic at all to me. I can't read it at all. Definitely feels algorithmic or something of that nature. Yeah, got a pretty clean split though. 50, 20, 30. Is this finally the top? All right, 428 down to 4. This could be the top. You're getting some volume on this push down too. Okay, $4 broke. See how it reacts from here. Low volume on this next push down relative to this area. So we got about a 40-cent drop from the high in 3 minutes. Ruby is probably moving since nothing else is. I strongly disagree with you there, John. I strongly disagree. This feels very algorithmic in the way it's being pushed up. This doesn't seem like a people are focusing on this because there's nothing else. This seems like a someone is moving this up kind of move. That's my read. Yeah, this does not seem like a it's moving because nothing else is kind of situation. I mean, there's two people saying that they think it's moving because nothing else is, I guess. HGCL seems to agree. Fair enough. I mean, I could certainly be wrong. That is just my read. Yeah, there is a chance this was the top. Just given how much volume was coming in on this push down. This is manipulation 100%. It feels like manipulation, Bobby. It does. It really does. The tapes was so heavy on the way down on this recent high on Ruby. Yeah, you can even see it from the volume. There's just a lot of volume on it. I don't know. This volume still isn't as high as the pops, so there is a chance that this curls. I'm not going to say that the run is over here. This is certainly bearish in this small little vacuum. In this bigger vacuum, this is a pullback. This isn't invalidated yet. Potential head and shoulders forming, though. Volume 15.39 million. And keep in mind the shares outstanding on this stock is very low too. Right, you're having full float rotation. Many magnitudes over. They attempted to rebid pretty aggressively. It's kind of looking that way. Moves it's making seem like textbook examples, though. Break of VWAP and retest, consolidation into 9 EMA. Definitely someone manipulating it, but it feels like it's being increased by retail. I don't know. I'm green today, and I'll see you tomorrow, says Sunny. You have a good day, Sunny. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see that you're green. Green gang. Webull shows 503K float. Yeah, and on Thinkorswim it's showing 510,000 outstanding. Do keep in mind there was a very recent prospectus filed, so they have 15 million pre-split they can sell. It's only a couple 100,000 after the split, but close to 1 million. We'll just say like 1 million. They attempted to rebid pretty aggressively, but that didn't work. They unwinded a good chunk already. I don't know. Like the rebid, Tristan, I think you could be onto something. That seems very logical. Right? The thing, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get how the float can be this high when from the time of the prospectus, there was no volume. I don't understand where the distribution could have happened. very, very unclear stock to me. I'm clearly missing something that explains this situation, and it's kind of bugging me that I don't understand what. Maybe I need to do some research with the AIs, have them look into it, and we try to figure it out. Anyone else following this Iran news, wondering if it's affecting anything? I sometimes look into it. I don't know why the US keeps meddling with the Middle East. It seems... I just don't want to be a part of it. Like, I hate how we're just spending all this time and energy, like, let's bomb Iran today, or some stupid stuff that we really shouldn't be messing with, in my opinion. Yeah, I heard we were doing something with Iran recently, but I haven't looked into it. It's all about the money. They want the resources. No, we're just bringing independence and freedom. Totally agree, says Romeo Olives. Yeah. It does feel like we're doing things we shouldn't be doing. Like that whole Venezuela thing where we like kidnapped the leader or whatever. That's just kind of dictatory kind of behavior. I don't like it. Romeo lives. Okay. I see. I read it as Romeo, and then I read the O as olives. So Romeo olives. Romeo lives, or is it Romeo lives? Oh, also, did you see Ross talking about how the BTC? Now, about how BTC might be affecting small caps. His theory was many companies were adding to their balance sheet in 2025. I know the Bitcoin thing was a big, it was a big news catalyst that drove momentum in 2025. But also, hold on, if I just pull up Bitcoin. Oh, nice, it's down. But, like if you look at the Bitcoin, I can't really show it very well here. Yeah, you might be able to see it there. But Bitcoin price for 2025, right, was really starting to get hype. Right, this was like right into 2025. It was at peak hype. So the first half of 2025, any cryptocurrency news headlines were getting a lot of pumps because the cryptocurrency was doing well. Now that cryptocurrency is on the backside, those kind of catalysts are not doing well. So, yeah, if crypto's doing well and you see a crypto headline on a small cap, I would say the odds that it resolves favorably increase, and vice versa. Right now, if you see a crypto headline, the odds that it resolves unfavorably are probably higher. We did the same thing with Norwegia. Yeah, well, we're coming up on the top of the hour. Unfortunately, only one trade today. I should be happy that I'm green. I will stay around the final 5 minutes of 9, like normal, see if we get any other stocks. Otherwise, I'm going to bounce. If you're not already subscribed, I do stream every day, allegedly. I feel like I got to say allegedly now because I've missed like 3 trading days in the last month. So I feel like I can't even realistically say I stream every day. Oh, ENVB. happened with ENVB? Well, it's curling a little bit, getting some volume back in it. Little pop. Yeah, 240 up to 273. It's a 30-cent pop. It's significant. I mean, it kind of sucks. It's nothing compared to the main move, but it's a little bit of a recovery. I'll be honest, after seeing how hard this flushed and seeing it starting to make another leg, I really thought this was going to go down like another 20 to 40 cents from the lows. But no, it held, and it looks like it's curling a little bit. All right, we got two stocks here, FRGT and BON. Both of these look interesting. Okay, BON looks like this one goes sideways a lot more. It is a higher float. FRGE, FRGT, lower float on FRGT. This one just kind of popped up and rolled over immediately, though. Announces 2-year fleet rocket agreement with Marksman. FRGT looks like it has a bit of a higher spread at the moment. This one's bouncing a lot, though. Bond also has news. Announces breakthrough development of Apple bioelectric mask. Electronic mask. Clinical data exceeds expectations. Fofo. Okay, I didn't even see this one. This one didn't come up on my scanners. Oh, because the volume's too light, that's why. Yeah, very light volume, but this one has popped. No news. Very big pop, too. $4 all the way up to $5.90. The name's Bond. Okay, at least we're actually getting stocks that are coming up here. The volume isn't super high on either of them. Fofo gave back the whole thing. This whole move was on light volume. No recent prospectus on Fofo. This one is a Chinese stock. Yeah, Ruby and MLX seem like good targets for keeping an eye on. Honestly, even watching these two might be worth it just because they have had news. All right, Fofo finally has enough volume that even my scanners are picking it up. All right. This one took a bit longer because the volume was just too low. But yeah, no news, Chinese stock, lower volume. Looks pretty dangerous. Bond's starting to get more volume into this. I'll give it a couple more minutes to see how these two play out, because one of these two could end up having a nice setup. Yeah, we got increasing volume. Yeah, this stock historically has moved pretty slow. Very grindy, just historically. Do you see accurate volume on Thinkorswim? Mine is always double what Webull says on pre-market. So the reporting data is what Webull and Thinkorswim show. That's what's important. Neither of them show the whole picture, just so you understand. So saying accurate pre-market volume is neither. They both are missing certain things. The reason I'm using Thinkorswim for the charting is because there's this, I don't want to call it bug, but there's this issue with Webull where volume comes out at the top of the hour and it gets reported as volume here on Webull, and that totally screws up the chart. So even though I like Webull charting more, just that one factor alone makes it visibly impossible to trade on it. So yeah, I lost a part in IPST. Oof. Big oof. Yeah, Bond's pulling back a bit here. You saw red volume and you still buy it? Giving into the FOMO, huh? Yeah, this one, that's crazy, dude. You gotta love this. Like, they announce share buyback program, stock spikes into immediately gives the entire move back. And now we're just trading at the low. And this was on a share buyback program announcement. I swear, sometimes some of these moves don't make any sense. Yeah, that is a good question. Where exactly did you buy? Okay, so you held it for 1 minute. Yeah. I don't know. So we really need like a pop down here. And I don't even know if I really want to mess with that. My signals are saying no to everything this morning. Maybe a no-trade day for Ross. I don't know. I think Ross is taking a trade today. I feel like some of these stocks that have moved have given opportunity. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's engaged with some of them, like EVB. What was it? ENVB. I bet he probably tried to take a trade on this one. Like this was moving quick enough and it had enough volume. I feel like he would have engaged with ENVB. I don't know if he would have messed with Ruby. Like I'm really having trouble tracking Ruby. I don't know if he would have engaged with something like this. But even now with Bond and FRGT, like, I don't know. These ones are kind of iffy if you would mess with these. But I wouldn't be surprised if Ross had taken a trade today. There has been opportunity for someone who's willing to aggressively trade front side. All right, well, I gave it an extra 6 minutes for both of these than I normally would have. Neither of them are really panning out to what I'm looking for, so I'm going to go ahead and call it here today. One trade for me today. Normal sized winner, given my share size. So I'm happy with that overall. The fact I could at least get something. Warrior Trader Ross, yeah, that's who we're talking about. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I'll go ahead and make a recap video later today, now that I actually traded something for once. There's something to talk about. But yeah, you guys